When following the rules becomes waiting to die, is flipping the table ambition or survival? When Zhu Di pretended to be mad, he was not standing before a throne, he was standing in the shadow of "Am I next?" Latter, he launched the Jingnan Campaign and took the Jianwen Emperor's realm. But what we must calculate here cannot be settled by saying he stole a throne. It is three questions. Why did he believe he could not survive without rebellion? Why did rebellion need the language of removing evil ministers? And after he won, who paid the bill? First, set aside the obvious version. Zhu Di did raise troops. He did seize the throne that cannot be avoided. But if we only say an uncle took his nephew's throne, we miss the pressure of the power field. After the Jianwen Emperor ascended, reduction of princely power began. Those words sound cold, but when they fell on the princes, they meant fiefs, military authority, family safety, and future fate being recalculated together. The Jianwen Emperor had his reasons. Powerful princes were threats to the center, the princely system left by Zhu. Yuanzhang already contained tension, so reducing princely power was not madness from nowhere. It had the logic of centralization. The problem was, when that logic arrived before Zhu Di, it no longer looked like state governance, but whether the next blade would fall on me. The Prince of Zhu was deposed. Prince of Qi was removed. The Prince of Dai was restrained. And Zhu Bai, Prince of Xiang, died by self-immolation. When these messages reached Beiping, Zhu Di could not misunderstand them. This was not distant thunder. It was thunder rolling toward his own gate. And Zhu Di was not an ordinary prince. He had guarded Beiping for years, facing military pressure from the north, holding troops, surrounded by commanders and carrying real battlefield experience. This gave him the ability to resist and made him look even more like someone who had to be dealt with. In a power field, ability is sometimes not protection, but a label of danger. The more capable you are, the more others ask. If one day he refuses, who can hold him down? The question before him was no longer, do I want to fight, but can I afford not to fight? This is the opening question of the Ming power field. Shang Yang showed how the machine works. Zhu Di shows how people deform under political pressure. So why did he pretend to be mad? Pretending to be mad looks ugly, but ugliness can become strategy. Because in a power field, strength itself can become evidence against you. You have troops, land reputation, so you must prove you are not a threat. But the absurd part is this. Whether you are a threat is not decided by you. It is decided by whether others need you to be one. So Zhu Di's madness did not solve the problem. It bought time through weakness. He performed himself as harmless, but the more he performed, the more it showed he knew the danger was real. This is the flective paradox of power. You act weak to survive, but the very ability to act proves you are not that weak. So one question remained: keep pretending or flip the table? Zhu Di raised troops, but he did not say, I want to be emperor. He called it Jingnan, removing evil ministers from the ruler's side. This language mattered because everyone who breaks rules needs to prove he is not really breaking them, but restoring the true ones. Zhu Di claimed he was not opposing the emperor, but clearing away the men around him. That sentence gave war a moral shell and gave his followers a reason to act. This was not Zhu Di's invention alone. In Chinese history, many people who flipped the table did not simply say, I want power. They said they were acting on heaven's behalf, rescuing the people from suffering, removing wicked men, restoring an order that had been damaged. King Wu's campaign against King Zhou was later framed as comforting the people and punishing crime. This does not mean every war is the same, but it shows one thing. When someone wants to break an old order, he must first prove that he is not the destroyer of order, but the repairer of the true order. This is the power of God. The removing evil ministers script. It turns a struggle for power into an act of correction, turns attack into rescue, and turns personal danger into a crisis of the realm. Zhu Di needed this language, and his army needed it too, because people may act for interest, but they prefer to believe they act for justice. But language can package war, it cannot cancel war. The Jingnan Campaign lasted for years. Armies fought across north and south cities, changed hands, officials chose sides. Common people were pulled into a game that was never theirs. This was not a clean palace coup, not a few men changing a pain down. chair, inside palace gates, Jending saw fighting Jinan held out. Dongchang also saw a brutal back and forth. Shengyong once defeated the Yan forces. Ti Xuan held Jinan with fierce resistance. These names are not decoration. They remind us, Zhu Di's victory did not fall from the sky. It was built through sieges, retreats, renewed battles, and the fear of countless ordinary people. For Zhu Di, this was the road of survival and seizure. For those pulled into it, it may have been soldiers suddenly appearing at the door, grain taken away, city gates closed, family members forced to choose sides. So, the ledger cannot contain only the emperor's name. It must also contain the people who had no choice. It must also include those forced to declare a position. Officials did not choose sides. Only on paper, their choices were tied to family and survival. Some remained loyal to Jianwen. Some turned toward Zhu Di. Some stayed silent. But silence during a change of power could also be interpreted as a position. This is the ledger beyond battle weapons strike city walls. Power strikes inside human hearts. So the cost of Jingnan is not only in battlefield numbers, but in every heart forced to choose loyalty. Again, that is why it cannot be told as a clean victory and cannot be passed over lightly. So did Zhu Di win? By the result he won, the Jianwen Emperor's fate became a mystery. Zhu Di took the throne and became the永乐Emperor, moved the capital to Beiping, sponsored the永乐Encyclopedia, and sent Zheng He on maritime voyages. He shifted the pass, political center of the Ming toward the north, and pushed Beijing into the center of empire. He also expanded the dynasty's outward vision toward the sea. If we look only at these, Zhu Di looks like an emperor who expanded the board. But the question is, achievement cannot automatically replace legitimacy. Great projects cannot automatically erase great costs. Moreover, the Jianwen Emperor's fate remained like an unclosed wound. As long as that wound remained, Zhu Di's new order had to keep proving it could stand. So the later grand projects were not only ambition, they were also proof. Proof that I am not only a man who seized power, proof that I can open a larger order. But the greater the proof, the less we should forget what it first stepped on. To rise winners give wars their names, arrange histories, and turn a war for the throne into a restoration of order. But the more beautiful the name, the 5 on more. We must ask, who gained safety? Who lost a home? Who gained the throne? And who was forced to bet in this game? These were real achievements. They cannot be erased by the rebellion. But the reverse is also true. Later achievements cannot erase the bill of Jingnan. Zhu Di judged the danger, and he was probably right. The reduction of princes had begun. The fate of other princes stood before him. But his answer to danger was a war on the scale of the realm. One man's survival calculation became a bill paid by countless lives. This is what makes Zhu Di complicated. He was not a pure victim, and not a flat villain. He saw danger clearly, and created a cost. So we do not whitewash him, and we do not simply condemn him. We count the ledger. The most important thing in Zhu Di's rebellion is not only who took what from whom, but what a person becomes when the rules begin processing him. He, judged correctly not rebelling, might have led to his destruction. But his victory also made countless others bear the cost. Power fields have no clean answers, only ledgers. So here is the question. If the rules have already started processing you, would you keep sitting there or flip the cost table? Tomorrow we talk about Zhu Gaoshu, a son who waited his whole life for one sentence from his father. Why did waiting become rebellion?
If you want to know more history buried by time, follow Hangshi.